Hello again, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of our day 1 what have yous for English 1010 with Professor Murphy. Before we get started with this video, I just want to go ahead and encourage everyone to read through the syllabus for this course. There are actually 2 syllabi posted. One is the master syllabus, which is just about the general structure of any given pt2 1010 course. And then you have the syllabus for this section of this course, which is about how this class goes with me in charge of it. So I encourage everyone to become familiar with both of those documents and even follow along with this video as we basically just go through them. I spent the last video talking about just sort of the general coursework and what we're going to be doing as a class throughout the course of the semester. This video is more about policies and guidelines and rules of thumb for the course. We will start with my own personal syllabus. You should see at the top of the page the section for this course that you are enrolled in and the day and time. You should also see at the top of the page my contact info, my email address, my office phone number, and my office hours. The first thing in that syllabus I would draw your attention to are the required resources, and where I have said in bold and italics that you do not need to buy the Norton Field Guide text for this course. I don't even have a copy of it with me. It's in the office, and my campus is closed, so... But generally speaking, I don't use the textbook very much anyway because I supplement everything that we would need out of it. And as far as readings from the text, I usually provide readings through other avenues. Now, on the other hand, you will need this textbook, the little Seagull handbook, which is basically going to serve as the grammatical and MLA style guide for the course. As I said in the previous video, we don't really talk about grammar much in the course. We will, on the other hand, talk a lot about MLA style, and you will need this book, or you will need access to some other current up-to-date MLA style guide in order to document sources, format essays, works cited page, all this stuff. Other things listed under the required resources we've already talked about. You'll need to be able to access Brightspace. You'll need to be able to access Microsoft Teams. You'll also be able to need to access the New York Times website. And as a student at Pellissippi, you have access to a free New York Times subscription through the library. Unfortunately, the free student subscription doesn't count for the crossword or the food sections, which kind of bumps me out because that's what I use most out of New York Times, but oh well. So I don't make you buy the big expensive textbook, but I am going to make you sign up for a free subscription to a newspaper. So seems like a pretty fair trade. Next thing you should see in the syllabus is a weekly breakdown of the course calendar. What is listed in this breakdown may not necessarily be entirely accurate by the time it is all said and done. If it seems like we need a little extra time for one assignment, then we'll extend that time and we'll make adjustments to the calendar as we go. But generally speaking, if you want to know what we'll be doing and when we'll be doing it, that's going to be a pretty good guesstimate for you. The next section is coursework, and we already talked about what the coursework will basically entail of in the previous video. But here you can see the actual grade breakdown and what you'll need to achieve percentage-wise in order to get whatever grade it is. Allow me to say this about your grades right up front. I don't care about your grades at all. I don't really care about your grades. It is your job to care about your grades. What I care about is the quality of your writing. I'm not just here to judge you, okay? I'm also here to help you. I'm here to try to assist you in the achievement of the standards I have set for you. But standards for you I have indeed set, and I will expect you to meet those standards throughout the course. So go ahead and start working now on whatever grade it is that you want in December. Because if you come to me at the end of November saying, I don't want the grade I have now, I want a better grade, then there may not be anything that I can do about it. Because I have been telling you constantly up to that point about the quality of your writing. Your grades and the quality of your writing are like this. So if you care about one, you need to start caring about the other right now. So the next couple of sections are basically about policies. I'll try to be brief as I can. First of all, on essay drafts, submissions, due dates, and revisions. Basically what you see here are guidelines for how I will accept and grade and give you feedback for your essays. All essay drafts are going to be submitted in Brightspace in the assignments folder. All due dates are final unless I change them, and if I change them, they will be heavily advertised. After you submit the first draft, we will have one-on-one conferences prior to your submission of the second draft, which will be your final grade for that essay. Next, on academic dishonesty. Academic dishonesty is a fancy way of saying cheating. There's really going to be only one way that you can cheat in this course, and that is going to be if you submit a writing assignment with your name on it that I can determine that you didn't actually write yourself. If you plagiarize an essay in part or in whole, you will fail that essay. If you plagiarize a discussion post in part or in whole, you will fail that assignment. The first time I catch you cheating, it's a 0. The second time I catch you cheating, it's an F for the semester. You might want to rewind 10 seconds and listen to me say that again. The first time I catch you cheating, it's a 0. The second time I catch you cheating, it's an F for the semester. I promise you it will not be a hand-waving dismissal from the course. If I catch you cheating, what I will do is, first of all, provide you with a copy of whatever it was you turned in, and then provide you a copy of whatever it was that I think you plagiarized it from. And I will say, do you have any questions? And if you don't, that'll be it. And then I will send both of those copies on to the dean of my department, just in case you decide to take this up with her, which, frankly, I encourage you to do. Plagiarism is a big word. It sort of encompasses a lot of different concepts. Some of those concepts are failable, some are not. If you just sort of accidentally don't cite a quote, that is technically plagiarism, but it's not going to get you flunked for the assignment and kicked out of the class. It really boils down whether or not it seems like you plagiarized in an attempt to avoid doing the work for the course. Plagiarizing doesn't necessarily mean that you just copied and pasted from a website. It could be that you had the website up on one screen and had your essay up on the other screen and then went line by line rewording each sentence in an attempt to hide the fact that you were not actually coming up with ideas on your own. It doesn't really matter if it's verbatim or not. If it seems like the ideas from this online resource are the exact same ideas you're expressing in this essay and they're showing up in the same order and it's basically the same idea just slightly reworded, that's still plagiarism. But just rest assured that I will catch you. I always catch students who plagiarize. Most of the assignments that I provide you for this class, you won't even really be able to cheat on because I will be asking you to express original thought. And if it seems like you're not actually expressing original thought, you're just summarizing a text that I ask you to read and respond to. And frankly, the extent to which I have seen some people reword whole websites in their essays, that kind of effort you might as well just put forth toward thinking about the assignment and coming up with your own stuff to say about it. I really can only think of 2 reasons that students have ever cheated in my class. The first reason is because they don't really care about the class, they don't really want to do the work, they hate writing essays, they are aggrieved of the fact that they have to take an English class in the first place, and so I can't really do anything for those students because if you've already made up your mind to not get anything out of this course, there's going to be nothing I can do to change your mind. On the other hand, there's a student who just has bad habits, or maybe you're bad at procrastinating, and you wait and you wait and you wait until the night before an essay is due, and suddenly you realize that it's midnight on Sunday, there's an essay due at 9 in the morning on Monday, and so you pop open the screen, and in the haze of panic, nothing comes, and you're sitting there, and it's 12 o'clock, and it's 1 o'clock, and it's 2 o'clock, and you're freaking out because you've got no idea where to start, and you haven't really been paying attention in class, and so you start thinking to yourself, oh God, I just need to turn something in. I just need to get something in. Let me just go get some ideas from this page. Mr. Murphy won't know, and so he won't really care. It's just a rough draft. It doesn't matter. Let me just borrow this line. Let me just put this as my thesis. Let me just take this paragraph and reword or word it. When you start hearing yourself having those kinds of thoughts, here's what I want you to do. I want you to shut off the computer. Turn the thing off, unplug it, and then do something to relax and get your mind off of it. Take a bath, drink a glass of wine, go for a jog, smoke a cigarette, whatever it is that you need to do to get out of that headspace. And when you're ready, I want you to send me an email or holler at me in Teams during office hours and say, Mr. Murphy, I'm totally lost. I have no idea what to do for this essay. Please help. I have nothing for this essay project. Can you help me, please? Answer to that question is almost always yes. There is all kinds of stuff I can do just to help a student brainstorm, kick ideas around, get things going as far as an essay project. Please believe that I would rather have that conversation with you a week or 2 ahead of time as opposed to the day something is due. But if it comes to that, that's better than you cheating. Because if you cheat, there's nothing I'm willing to do for you. I don't care why. I don't care what you thought you were doing. If you turn something in part or in whole, that you didn't write, that's it. I don't necessarily like to start a semester off with that kind of stern warning, but there's always somebody in the course who's not listening to me right now and who thinks that whenever the time comes that it doesn't matter and that I won't catch you. Please don't take that chance, because if I do, it's only going to hurt you. Anyway, on attendance. Everyone will have to attend 2 virtual class sections a week. Everyone will be there on Monday, and then half the class will show up on Wednesday, half the class on Friday. On those rare occasions throughout the semester where we don't actually have 2 full sessions a week, we'll figure out how we're going to divvy it up when the time comes, and I will let you know. But for the most part, I will be checking attendance. I will be making sure that you are logging into the course and checking Brightspace, and I will be tracking how often it is that you show up to these virtual sessions. If it seems like after a certain point you have just stopped showing up, stop doing work, then I will report that. And being reported as stopped attending has all kinds of nice little ramifications for your financial aid and for future registration. And so you just go ahead and get used to the idea that you're going to be showing up a couple times a week. The next 2 sections are just about conduct, and I'll go ahead and bullet point this for you. Just don't be a jerk and you'll be fine. When we're in virtual sessions together, be respectful of each other. Try not to be a distraction through either what you say or what you put on screen for other people to see and look at. Demonstrate a little common courtesy towards me and to the other people in the class, and you shouldn't have any problems as far as that. On the other hand, if any student does feel harassed, then you can contact the Equity and Compliance Office at the number provided in the syllabus, and I encourage you to do so because your ability to be successful in a course is largely contingent upon the comfort level you have being in the course. Generally speaking, when we are in virtual sessions together, you need to be quiet. If not, I'll just mute you. But I do encourage you to use the chat section of the window. If you have a question, you can ask it in chat, or if you have any comment that you can make to each other. And I just encourage you to interact with each other. Have fun. These are not necessarily meant to be stodgy lecture sessions where I just give you a whole bunch of information and you just have to sit there and listen to it. The goal of these virtual sessions will be for us to have an opportunity to interact with each other and to talk about what's going on in the course. On unexpected or extended college closure, let's just skip that part. Go ahead and be checking your Pellisipi email. It's the same username and password that you use for everything else. Most things that I want you to have, I'll just put in course content in Brightspace, but if there's something extra or something supplemental that I thought of at the last minute that I want you to have, you're going to need to have that, so get in the habit of checking your email. Any student with a disability accommodation plan needs to contact me. If you feel like you need an accommodation plan and don't have one yet, the number for the Services for Students with Disabilities office is provided right there in the syllabus. Last but not least, there's a little contact information for emotional support and well-being, because Pellisipi has its own staff of counselors, but sometimes you need a little more than that, and sometimes you need help when Pellisipi isn't in office hours. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to put you in contact with someone that you feel like you need to talk to or that would be helpful for you to talk to. We are living in times that are inherently stressful, and then adding college to that can be a little much for some folks. Everyone here has what it takes to do all right, but if you need a little help, ask for it. There's absolutely no harm in just asking for help. So that's it as far as the syllabus. That's it as far as course policies and rules. I don't generally like to behave like an authoritarian. I like for my students to feel like they have a good time in class. Obviously, we have work to do and standards to meet, but within that, I'm not a particularly rule-focused person. As long as we all do what we're supposed to do, I'm generally happy. Now that we have looked through the syllabus, there is one thing that you should do. There's a syllabus quiz in Brightspace. It will feature questions directly related to the content that we just covered, and it will be one of the week 1 assignments that you'll need to have completed by the end of the day on Friday, August 28th, which is the end of our first week of class. Hopefully everyone will have seen these videos by the end of our first day of class on August 24th. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I probably haven't even seen your faces yet, but I love you guys. Like, I really do. The fact that you're even here is extraordinary. The fact that you're trying to pull this off at this time is excellent. And I appreciate the extraordinary circumstances we are in. And I appreciate the extra level of stress that it can provide on something that is already stressful. Going to college is inherently stressful. And having to do it in this format might be a little extra stressful for some of you. So just know that at least for the first couple of weeks, I'm going to try to be patient and work with everybody and try to sort through the problems that will surface. That's it for the week 1 stuff. I'll see you in Teams.